Pew Research Center found 30% of U.S. adults are neither married, living with a partner, nor engaged in a committed relationship. Nearly half of all young adults are single. 34% of women are single, and a whopping 63% of men are single. And this is 18 to 29 year olds, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I go back to this one.
Yeah, it defined. I think it was 18 to 29 also, but it had the date on it, if I remember correctly. I mean, how they defined.
Yeah, right here among men, 18 to 29, 51.
Yeah.
And among women, 32%. So almost double 18 to 29-year-old men are.
And is this self-reported?
I'm not. That's why I said I'm not sure about this methodology, but this is the Pew Research Center data. So,
but if you go back to the Hill, there's also one thing to note on right underneath the second article is that surprisingly, this stands at a 30-year low in terms of that. Around 30% of young men reported in 2019 have had no sex in the last year also at the same time. So that's a lot of people in the manosphere. The manosphere is just the whole topic of just man. No, it's just it's the way I look at the manosphere. It's the opposite side or of the coin to feminism. That's the way I look at manosphere. Anyway, they use that data a lot in terms of the anyone who's under 30 the last year who has not had it, compared to 20% of young women. That one is not as big significant to me in terms of 30 and 20%. That's 1 out of 3, 1 out of 5. Statistically, it's a big difference. Don't get me wrong, but it's not a wild to me compared to the young singles in terms of that. That's
okay.
Go ahead.
As far as data collection, it does say that it was a self-survey, so it was self-reported data conducted from October 16th to the 28th, 2019. The only reason that I bring that up is that there may be a difference between, there might be some gender difference between what they
definition of what single is, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Like how many.
Okay, I have a take on this too. I have a take
question first, John. Did you see the total number of data pool in terms of? Is it 100 people, 2,000 people? You know what I'm saying?
It's got to be more than 100 for sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that
you can't pull out.
They won't.
Yeah, like this without sample sizes.
I just want to know. Just do F-prime sample size, and then you should.
Yeah, it's not saying it on here.
I had all of this on my notes and my.
Well, my thing is like, do you guys think this is a social issue or another issue? I tend to think, if you guys don't mind, I give my thought, that this is an economic issue, also, like, because I think right now, like, the economy, we know that the wealth gap, for example, is getting higher, more and more bigger between the rich and poor, and also with student loans and the job market being how it is, less and less men are established in their 20s, right? Let's just be real. Like, a lot of people don't get into the career they want to get into until in their late 20s or early 30s now, today. It's not like how it used to be. And also, I think, let's look at the upper range of this. Like, for example, anecdotal evidence, like me, like my mom and my dad, 5-year age difference. Me and my girlfriend, 5-year age difference, right? And technically, right, my girlfriend would still be in the 18 to 29 category, whereas I would not be, right? So she would say she is non-single, but I wouldn't even fit into the 18 to 29 category, right?
Yeah.
So, and we know typically, socioculturally, like, women usually date older men, okay? So I think that skews the data a little bit. And also, because I think, like, this is a lot of economic issues here going on, it's harder for men, I think, to even get into relationships if they don't feel like they're established. Like, I sort of felt that way. Definitely when I was in college, I felt that way, right? That okay, even if I had a girlfriend, like like for long term, like what would we do? I'm broke, so like, and I don't even know where I'm going to be. Am I going to live in East Lansing? Am I going to go back to Malaysia? Like there's a lot of uncertainties there. So I don't completely buy that this is just like a social problem. Like I mean,
No, I mean,
yeah, yeah.
I was just gonna say, I agree. I think with the advent of like the internet, right? Obviously,
Whoa.
sorry.
Oh, you want to see it?
No,
Okay,
Eve,
okay,
one thing before you get rid of that, and not let you go, John.
okay.
Just so to point out, just look at the 65 plus per male,
Yeah,
who are single, 21%. You see that?
21. Yeah.
Look at the female now.
Okay.
Now, go ahead, John. I just wanted to point that out in terms of that.
Ah, all right,
And then
sure.
I'll let John finish
Okay.
his thought. Sorry about that. But
Yeah,
we don't need to go back to it.
We were talking about it. He was talking about how it's slightly an economic issue, right? But like, and I agree with that. If you look at like basically the world pre-internet and pre-dating internet, before apps, Bumble, Hinge, Tinder, all that type of stuff, like people were geographically restricted, right? Like you could, there's a lot of times you see relationships where there weren't, the matches weren't exactly equivalent, right? You might have like, there might be, so many people in a town, right? And like, so with the advent of the internet and people moving around so much, like, and with the income gap you have, like, I think it's, maybe this is just my opinion, but in my experience, women don't date down, right? Like you don't see women dating broke men, right? Like a guy doesn't give a fuck how much money a girl's got. She could be a waitress, like he could have all the money in the world. That's not his guiding light, right? But women don't date down, right? Meaning that like they're always dating up, and therefore that pool of men that are in that top 10 bracket, right, are gonna be running through the dating pool. I mean, like look at Deshaun Watson, right? He got in trouble. The man had a list that I've never seen, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like the dispersion is going to be different. Like if you have the money to fly out these IG models and stuff, chances are you're going to be doing numbers, right? Like, and I think finances do make an impact. Like, I don't think that it's an end all be all, and I don't think anything like that. I think that we are going to see that, and also like you have all these apps where it's like, okay, find somebody to hang out with this weekend, but then I can spend the rest of the rest of next week, like doing what I need to do, handling my business. Like there's a lot less, like you get that physical aspect without the emotional ties and stuff and some of those other obligations. And like, so I guess like another question to ask is like, as society, have we shifted there as far as priorities? Like, because in my experience, a lot of times up until you're like 30, it's like, oh, I'm just fucking around no matter what. Like you be 27, like, okay, I'm dating this girl. I don't think it's going anywhere. We've been together for a few months or something, like, but that doesn't necessarily stop you. It's not until it's like, oh, time to like, make a family where you're like, okay, now I'm changing my priorities of what I'm looking for.
Yeah, and to say something, Sam, before my JD and Sam, before you go, Sam, like piggybacking off what John said, that women usually date up, and I think that's not a progressive thing. That's a conservative thing. Like the women date up because that's how the family unit, or like society since the beginning of time has made it so that the man has to be the provider, right? So if you're a woman and you're making money, you still expect to be provided, and they have to be provided better than I'm providing myself, right? So of course they're gonna date up, and that's not a progressive take. That's actually a conservative take.
I think guys date up too.
Yeah, but not as often.
I mean, the guys are not opposed to dating up, but what I'm saying is like the dating down is not something that they look. Like you ever been like, oh man, this girl is perfect, but her family grew up on the wrong side of town. Like never. Like
this girl's perfect, but her dad's a billionaire. Fuck.
Yeah, I can't do it, man. I can't do
it. I mean, girls don't say that either, too. Like, oh damn.
No, but girls will be like, man, he's broke.
No. The first thing
you cannot tell me. Let me answer.
Okay, go ahead.
You cannot tell me if she has bad spending or financial habits, and you would be okay with that.
I'm not talking about the what they're spending money on. I'm talking about the ability to bring money in. You know, like I'm never gonna be like, oh, you work at a job, you make $14 an hour, I can never date you. Like you're not on my level. Like because money is not what I'm expecting from her. You know.
I get that point. Yeah, but like if she's 35 or if she's 32, our age, you know,
31.
or let's say 20, let's say 20, 28, you know what I'm saying? And is at McDonald's and failed out of college and everything, you'll still be cool. You know what I'm saying?
I would ask more myself about ambition than I would money. Like she could be making less. She's making $4 less than she's making at McDonald's. If I feel like she's ambitious, I'm cool with it. You know?
Okay. Yeah.
But all I want is one thing too. Is one more. I'll let you answer that question too. In terms of that scenario I just painted, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. She's bad. She's not bad. You'd be still cool with it if she was bad and not ambitious. She just
bad. You mean good?
I mean, I need intellectual stimulation, right? So it's like I need somebody who's not ambitious because I want them to make money, but I want them to be ambitious because they're trying to strive to be better every day. And that type of mindset is going to challenge me when I say something stupid or some, you know, like we're going to have good conversations. It's difficult to have conversations with someone you don't feel like you can have an intelligent.
I'm not saying about money. I'll let Eva respond before I counter. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say like if the girl's not working a minimum wage job for whatever reason, right? And I think I would think twice if I wasn't established. Which guys in their 20s wouldn't really be established, a lot of them. But if I was in my 30s and I had a career, like I know even if I didn't have a job, I can get a job. You know what I mean? Like that wouldn't matter so much because again, this thinking of the man has to at the end of the day provide. Like at the end of the day, if you love this person and you're compatible, I don't think it's like top 5 priority. If you're established though, if you're established, like if you were already in your job, right, and you're set, basically, you're set, and you find this girl you're really in love with, like, and she's in love with you, like, is that gonna matter? If you want to marry her,
if you're not established, to counter what you said, if you're not established, why is it different?
Okay, why is it different when you're not?
I know that like having the structure and the security of having the job and knowing that you could always take care of the family makes it easier, but you can still take that leap of faith even if you're not established.
Yeah, you can, of course,
but you're in love, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, look, I can speak for myself. I started.
Why are you saying it like that?
Okay, me and my when I started dating my girlfriend, I didn't have a job, you know, and she was the one driving me to work once I did get a job. Like, so it can happen. Like it happened with me, right? But what I'm saying is I think generally speaking, guys don't really want to get in relationships when they don't have the money to do it, you know, and that's a choice of the guy.
I agree. I agree, but you guys, I just don't want to be generalized saying that because then you'll fall into the whole manosphere lyrics saying that girls only date up and guys are okay. Girls will never date down and guys are okay.
I don't think that's sexist.
Girls will never date down and guys are willing to date down in terms of that. He just said that technically she dated down for him. You know what I'm saying? But and I can only speak for myself, and I know you guys well enough to know that if there is no ambition, or something like that, there's no way you guys will be cool. There's just no way you guys will just be cool. And the resume, in terms of what she's doing and what she's done in the past, in terms of not just career-wise, but in terms of decisions she just made, leads to that. You know what I'm saying? In terms dating down financially, you guys are still open to it. Dating down in terms of academically, and I'm not saying that she has to go to college, she has to do this. But if you don't have anything that you're really passionate about outside of having kids and marriage, it won't work with me. You know what I'm saying? It just won't work with me because I just know the type of person I am in terms of the family dynamic and stuff like that, where I do need some time to myself to do the work that I need to do. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mind being in a family dynamic, being in a situation where I'm only one at home as a kid, and I'm fortunately in the business I'm in, I have the flexibility to be able to do that when she can do her own thing. But like, there is life after kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that life after kids won't work. And that's all I wanted to say. And do you guys have something to say about this before I talk about that data we just see?
No. Go ahead. I don't know, John.
No, I'm good.
Okay. So we saw that data under 30 men significantly high in terms of being single. We also saw that data of over
I knew you were going to
35 women. There's not a lot of topics on that. So over 65 being single in terms of that. And most of the guys, and I would assume I'm making this assumption that they did the same amount of men above 65 as they did about of women above 65. Mm-hmm. They did the same amount of number. Yep. I'm assuming that it is because of the credibility of Pew. That tells me right there what a lot of people have been saying, where you date around a lot, you're going to die single. You date around a lot, you're going to die single. That data just literally says
men are going to die single?
No. I'm just saying, though, if you're always dating, and that's a big jump for me. Don't begin. It could be widows. It could be, you know what I'm saying, where they got a divorce. A lot of that, you know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is that data says at 65, I'm married for men, and I'm 65, I'm single for women. That's a huge flip compared to at under 30, you're single as a man, and more than likely, you're in a relationship as a woman in terms of that. That completely flipped in life. I'll finish this in the next. So for the young men out there, it's okay. More than likely, you're gonna die
single
with the marriage. So just keep trucking along. Keep trucking along in terms of the young men out there. For the females out there, that's what the data says. You know what I'm saying?
I got a lot of issues with the way we just digested this data. Like, because like if you look at the premise that the genders are almost even, right? And it's not split 50-50, but it is damn near, right? Like it's within, margin of error 1%, right? Then we have to ask ourselves, like, so when you see the numbers where it's like plus 65 men at what was it, 21% single, and women at 49%, right? If we assume that there are, say, like you said, it's matched 1-to-1 for the numbers, right? Then like we need to ask ourselves, not like the story that you're telling doesn't maybe the men that are married are more likely to live to 65 years.
Yeah, right? That's what I'm saying.
Single men die, right? Or that women tend to have a longer lifespan than men by what I believe it's like
5 years,
3.5, 4 years, right? Yeah. Maybe they live on single after their husbands died, right? Like I just don't want to look at those numbers and be like they're so different.
Definitely half
these old women can't
half of those women, their husbands are dead. That's what's happening.
Also, they are not the subset that created the 18 to 29 that we're looking at. Like you're drawing a slice in time, right? Where the 18 to 29-year-olds right now are acting a certain way. But I guarantee you, if you took the same poll like 40 years ago, the single rates were low, right? Like a lot of people, if you think about our parents' generation, a lot of people were getting married in high school. A lot of people didn't go to college. Like you were married at 20 and you had a kid already, So I think that like applying the young data to the old people is maybe not appropriate.
That's why I was just thinking. I think a lot. Like I think it's Occam's razor. The simplest answer is the real answer, which is the 65 plus women, their husbands are dead. That's what it is. They died of smoking too much, lung cancer, working those field jobs, whatever it is. Heart attack.
Well, pick the right guy. Pick a better guy. Pick a healthier guy. That's the decision they made.
I'm not putting blame on anyone. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm saying there's obviously guys that do last.
And okay, fine.
And the average age is still above 70.
Yeah, fine. Pick a better guy.
Is above 70.
Pick a better guy, but that's probably why the women's single rate is much lower. They're picking guys that are
Oh, but
much
Yeah, but
higher.
it just hit
if
me.
you look
Wait, hold
between
on,
50
hold
and
on.
64, it's almost identical. Like if you get out the point
They're
before we
not
get to
marrying the same
mortality,
age group. They're marrying 5 years older.
Yeah, that it just hit me what you meant in terms of that. Yeah, you're right. You are marrying somebody 10 years older than you.
Yeah,
That's a whole different field in terms of that.
especially in the
The whole
70s, man.
that's a whole different field. I completely forgot. I'm assuming that it's relatively similar, but yeah. So I guess that's also a win for the female. So date older, you will have good years with, you know what
Get
I'm
the
saying,
life
and then
insurance.
get life insurance.
That's fucked up.
We just had pause. Let me just say, commercial for life insurance. If you're married, somebody older than you, get life insurance. At 65, you'll be single, and then you would be in your golden age, golden years.
Yeah, get a whole life unless you have some kind of inside knowledge. Then term might be.
Get a whole life, but I mean, and just to wrap up this few data in terms of the young dating, in terms of that, but at the end of the day, though, things are shifting in terms of dating, and social media definitely played a big part, and then that goes straight into the dating apps. That plays a huge part, and like most of our age, I guess, we're the in between like millennials and the next generation. The next generation too, but anybody after the millennials, they're marrying through an app. You know what I'm saying? Not marrying, but like they're meeting people in terms of that. Before that, it was based on a lot more social settings. Like there's no in our lives, you know what I'm saying? And we see and run into in my real estate business, you're in the academic field as a professor, and you in law school and insurance, you'll be more than likely connected, and that's how you meet somebody. In terms of somebody in that circle, how you will, based on the social networks that you're in, how you end up, or your family situations. Kind of like how Saeed, shout out, got a new baby.
Hey,
met somebody through his work, so yeah. But he met somebody through his work environment in terms of, and that's how he found somebody person. And that's a very dying phenomenon in terms of that. It's mostly based on the app, and that emphasizes the most. That emphasizes the whole social media network that we live in. It's not so much about society or the circles that we're in, because there won't be dating up and dating down in the circles we're in. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty much similar. It's based on that. You know what I'm saying? But in the world that we live in now, you have access to a lot more partners, potential partners. You know what I'm saying? Just on your phone, by a swipe right on swipe, you have access to a lot more for guys and for females. You know what I'm saying? So that changes the whole dynamic moving forward, and more and more data is going to come up like this. We're just at the brink of it. You know what I'm saying? We're just 32, but we've only been dating for, like, if I'm honest, you know what I'm saying, 15 years or less. You know what I'm saying? The new form of dating in terms of apps has only just started in terms of that. And people have always been hooked in a hookup culture, but has only been recently been on the steroid run it's been on, you know what I'm saying, recently. That data, I would love to see it 10, 15 years from now, how that data looks, you know what I'm saying? It's going to look significantly more. If this is already the where we're at, it will continuously do the trends that it's in terms of skewing that data. The way I would project in terms of my assumption. So, yeah, especially what you're hearing from the manosphere through the world that we are in terms of the culture, it's going to skew that way more, encouraging men to be more promiscuous in terms of their stories, and the feminists saying, don't listen to him, be more promiscuous than guys, you know what I'm saying? So they're both telling people to be more extremes of each other, which is not going to be more, oh, get married and actually have cohesive relationships. It's not, both sides of it is not encouraging that. The only side that really is encouraging that is the way I see it. It's from religious backgrounds in terms of that. And so the way I see the whole sphere or topic is trying to distance people from that, even though the manosphere says, oh, you want somebody who's more conservative to marry, but keep doing your own thing as a man because you're the man and the provider. So just still keep your options open and go around, but marry a conservative woman. But why would a conservative woman marry a guy who is very promiscuous and wants to be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
She would want somebody that same values as you at the end of the day. She wouldn't want somebody, I mean, no matter how rich she is, if he doesn't have the same like religious faith and background, she will not go for you. Like, it's just the way I've seen it from the churches I'm in terms of course, she would want somebody who's more financially stable and stuff like that. But if you don't match her on the beliefs and core values of being a religious person and stuff like that and following the faith, she's not going to fold. You know what I'm saying? And for you to think, and that's what that rhetoric is, you want somebody who's like that. I'm like, they're not going to go for you if you have a history like that or treating women like that and thinking that you want somebody who's just submissive and but that's not going to work. You have to do the work yourself. So that's the way I see it.